Welcome back to the channel, folks, and to another battle report. This is another dual format game, which means you can watch either the full game or the summarised version. So it's split into chapters. Just look at the scroll line along the bottom and you'll see that. So today's matchup sees myself using another Berlin German list, the Tank Training Company. We've seen Peter use this before, but I'm going to be using a quite different makeup for a quite different game, I think. And I'm going to be playing Laurence's nicely painted British. This is a new army for Laurence. He's not maybe got all the options he's going to want to play with, but he's got a really strong balanced list that he's going to bring today. So let's head over to the lists and then on to the mission and get started. Right, Laurence, what have you got in your list today?
So a Sherman formation, we've got 2 platoons with 1 Firefly each, 2 Crusaders, my HQ and 4 Stuarts that make the formation. In support I have the 4 Achilles, the 2 Batars, a commando section and an airplane. This side of the table, we start on the table, and on the left will be my reserves.
So these guys are, what are they, careful, confident,
Yep.
trained? Have they got any reluctant stuff in them
No
at all?
reluctant, although they're...
Is it the last stand that's not so good, or?
no, it's generally it's a 4 up as such,
Right.
but the skill rating is a 4, 4 up, although the commando section are on a 3 up and they also have the 2 up for assaults.
Yeah, so these guys are going to be coming up against my green 5 up assault infantry. That could be quite interesting. So there you go, Sherman Squadron from DD British. So here's today's formation, folks, the Tank Training Company. Now, you'll notice a lack of anything heavy. There's no Panthers, no cheap Panthers, no cheap Tiger 2s or such likes. It's just Panzer 4s and a few Panzer 3s. The idea being, let's see if it can just overwhelm with numbers. You know, if this manages to rock up in the one solid mass, for instance, that's a hell of a lot of shots it's going to put down. So, generally speaking, the Tank Training Company are green, with the exception of the HQ. HQ is veteran and it has the old hand rule. So they're green, they're aggressive, HQ is careful, and then they are confident. And that's just all round. They've got protected ammo where appropriate, but otherwise just confident all round. They don't have the Reich rule though for last stand. So generally all round confident. So think of the Panzer Brigades without the reluctant element, and that's kind of what we've got here. So the formation has HQ of 2 Panzer IVs, 3 platoons of 4 Panzer IVs, a platoon of 4 Panzer IIIs. These guys only anti-tank 9, but 6 points armour on the front and 3 on the side. They're the same as them, so they could be just as durable and useful for a number of other tasks that maybe a Panzer IV is not as well suited for, or maybe a Panzer IV is going to be off doing something else. So I'm taking the Panzer IIIs. Then a big platoon of the flak half-tracks, triple flaks. Then 2 platoons of the infantry. These guys have the same kind of soft skills as the tanks, so that's 2 platoons of Panzer Grenadiers. That's quite a tough infantry force. They've got 2 Fausts each as well, so they could be a bit of a nuisance. They're not reluctant, you know, so it is possible to be doing things with them in assault as well, but, you know, they're hitting a 5, so you probably don't want to be defending anywhere with these guys and probably not going to do much, but it might be handy to just have them there as a closing force, you know, to finish an assault. But I'm thinking of them as just an infantry force in general terms, and then in specific terms maybe getting to somewhere important and staying there. Then outside of the formation and support, we've got 4 88s. Now 88s have got a good range. If they can get a good firing position in deployment, they can provide some excellent cover for the rest of the formation. So they can potentially provide the heavy anti-tank that I need. they may well take a lot of artillery fire, but if they do, it means it's not going to be directed against the infantry, which could be important. Now, these are the Luftwaffe 88, so their soft starts are terrible. They are reluctant. So if they get pinned, they're probably going to stay pinned. But for the points, they're so cheap, you know, I think you'd be mad not to take them in a formation like this. And then 3 Wesps with an observer. So these guys are the full-on here Wesps, you know, what's it, fearless, veteran and careful, you know. So lots and lots of vehicles, lots of infantry, you know, it could be quite a good list, but I reckon it'll be at its best when it can deploy itself in its entirety. If it has to split up, you know, for reserves, then you might have to be a bit more careful with it. Otherwise it might get chewed to bits because it's aggressive and hit on a 3. Today's mission is Valley of Death, and you can tell just by looking at the deployment zones that this is very different from other missions that are out there. The attacker starts at one end of the table with the objectives at the other end, and it seems we've got like a clear run straight up to it, and the defender is in flanking positions and not on the objectives. So there's a couple of things straight away. You've got to say to yourself as a defender, I've got to get myself onto the objectives under fire and stay alive. The objectives go live in turn 6, so I've got time to get there. The attacker is thinking, oh great, I'm going to get the attacker, or the defender rather, on the move here and knock them about. However, they've got to go all the way down the length of the table, and they've also got reserves. So they're not going to start with their full force on the table. They're going to have to build up their attack. But that means getting themselves down the table in time to challenge that objective for turn 6 whilst building up their attack. Now the defender's got scattered reserves and they're delayed. They don't have too far to go for the reserves because they're coming in from the flank. So they should be able to influence the objective wherever they come in, but it's when they come in. So reserves are really important for this mission for both people. So is the terrain that the defender chooses to place at their end of the table, because if they don't have terrain that they can move into to protect the objective, they're going to sit in the open and get knocked about. So this is a very, very challenging mission for both players. It looks really difficult for the defender, but when you consider the attacker has to stick their neck into a noose, it's difficult for them too. You can see from the mission rules that the defender doesn't get the advantage of an ambush or minefields, and they've got their delayed scattered reserves. The attacker has the scattered reserves, and it's a meeting engagement for the attacker in that first turn. So quite a different mission, quite a challenging mission. Okay folks, we have deployed. Laurence has chosen this end to defend because that's got the best kind of cover for his forces to move into from the flanks. So we have an objective marker down here, I placed these, and another one further back around there. You can see Laurence's deployment zones on the flanks and mine up here. So Laurence, what have you got on the table?
So unfortunately not a lot, but what we do have is I have got my 2 Sherman platoons, one situated behind the hill and one sneakily at the back here. Still a little undecided as to which route they will go. I've got my commandos sitting here, hopefully ready to pounce forward. I do have my plane on the table and ready to come on if possible. But yes, it'll be hoping for my reserves to come on pretty swiftly to try and stop this horde.
There's a couple of Crusaders here, and I take it you put the commandos over there so you can move through the cover of the town to the objective rather than having to basically bomb it across there and unprotected.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the theory, hopefully.
So, in reserve then, just to cover off again, you've got 4 Stuarts, 2 Averys, your HQ and your nasty M10s. The Achilles,
yeah.
Achilles, yeah, right. So what have I got on the table, guys? It's not great, because there are currently 8 Panzer IVs, a platoon of infantry, and my anti-aircraft half-tracks in reserve, which is a hell of a lot of units, but they're so cheap, that quite often happens. So on the table we have a platoon of Panzer IVs, we have a line of 88s, which are really just there to protect mainly this flank here, but also put some shots down range into the town if they get the opportunity. Then my HQ, my Panzer IIIs, a platoon of infantry, and the Wesps. We've got a good position from the hill with the observer over there. He's probably going to move to look down that flank as well. So I've got to stick my head in this noose. The objectives go live turn 6, I think it is, and I have to be contesting, well, within the inches of that objective by that time too. So I'm going to get nothing for standing back here. So this, we're talking earlier, me and Laurence think this could be quite a bloody game. So we'll come back for turn 1 after we've moved off all these markers. Turn 1. So turn 1 start step for the Germans, I'm rolling for reserves. A 2 means no reserves. German turn 1 movement. Well, for me it's just going to be about movement. It's going to be about speed of advance here. I want to get as far up the table as I can just now. I could hold back and wait for my reserves, but I want to get something down on the objective and force the defender's hand a bit. So it's a meeting engagement, so my shooting isn't necessarily going to be very effective anyway, and I can't really see anything, so I'm just dashing, starting with the main force in the centre there, heading towards the nearest objective, the one that's exposed on the outside of the hotel. On the other side, Panzer IVs are initially moving up to a cover position on the hill to cover the flank in case reserves start to arrive early, but in the end they're going to head up that flank. But that is my initial movement. Push up the centre with a big lump and cover on one flank. So turn 1 for me, folks, because I can't bombard, it's really just going to be about movement, and everyone's just dashing. These guys are dashed onto a hold down position on the hill. He probably needs to be back a wee bit to climb that. The observer's dashed up to look down the side, and this lump is dashed up to start moving towards that objective. So because I've dashed and I really don't have much in the way of line of sight on anybody anyway, there's not going to be any shooting. So a very dull, uneventful turn 1.
And I roll for my plane just to see if it comes in. And not quite yet. Needing a 4 up.
So on to movement. British turn 1 movement. Well, first of all, Laurence is moving his commandos over from the far side of the table. He deployed there so that his infantry would be able to move up towards that objective closer to my side of the table without having to present himself in the open. And at the same time, he can sort of draw himself out in a line a little to protect both objectives. Now, the Shermans on that side of the table are going to do a cross here, take it over the hedge, so that you can see them in the top left hand corner. And then the bottom left hand corner, the Sherman's behind the hill. I'm not really close enough for his ordinary 75s to get into the game, so they're just going to stay put this turn.
So the movement so far is I've moved up my commando troops. We've got some units situated in these 3 buildings here. I tried a follow me move. However, I failed, so the leader went forward 4 inches, but the remaining troops stayed as they were. So these 3 buildings now populated with my troops. I passed using a follow me move.
Cross here.
Cross here, sorry. And ultimately they then moved across from the hedge. I've kept my troops behind that hill stationary, as they would not be in range for the most part. Only the Firefly could hit, so I wanted to try and entice them a little bit further forward before saying hello. My Crusaders just moved slightly behind the woods more to await next turn.
And no plane turned up this time.
No plane and no shooting just now.
Turn 2. Turn 2 start step for the Germans. It's going to be reserves. That's it. Oh my goodness. There's going to be a lot that you Panzer IIIs are going to have to do in this game at this rate. German turn to movement. Still having to progress with no reserves here, folk, which is a bit of a nightmare for the attacker in this mission, because you can see that little lump in the middle of the table is having to just keep pushing on up. So I've dismounted the infantry and I'll move the half tracks up to give them some cover against the commandos that are in those buildings, and the armour is going to keep moving up too, get himself into some cover in the field. So I have to admit that that hill will prevent the concealment having any effect, but at least the tanks behind the town will have to shoot through cover at me. Now in the top of the table I've still got my platoon of 4 Panzer IVs sitting for flank cover to see where the reserves might come in. That's maybe not the best in this situation because I've not yet got any reserves on. Might have been a better idea for them to move on up the table. As it is, they're just going to stay put, and no targets for the 88s yet. Right, turn 2, and we're actually going to have some shooting, folks. So starting with the 20mm half track can see into one of those buildings, but only with that's the only one that's got a target. The other building's obscured by the woods and so on. It gets a hit though, so
just the one stand within,
and he's fine. And then I'm going to try and range in with my artillery onto the house that I just shot at. The West have got line of sight themselves from the hill. A 1, a 2, 5. Third attempt, so we're needing 60 to hit you. So I can probably get it. So is that going to get everyone around those two buildings?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one is motorman.
We're going to get him, do you think? Or maybe don't get him.
Okay, so it will just be 5 infantry stands.
Right. 2 in the house at the back, they're fine. 1 in the house, and then nearest guy in the street, and then furthest guy. Nah, nobody hit, so you're not pinned. You don't have to worry about that. And I don't imagine I'll be keeping my ranged in marker there because you'll be moving on next turn. So that is going to be it for shooting. 88s don't have any targets. My Panzer IVs are just watching the flank, and I've not had any reserves in, folk, you know, so that's stopping me from doing much more. These guys are in a position to be shot, but also to shoot back if it comes to it.
So British starting step turn 2, all I need to do is to roll for my airplane.
Here it
which I
comes.
do get.
British turn 2 movement. So first of all, the plane is going to arrive and get itself in a good position to clobber as many targets as possible. The commandos are going to keep moving over into town. They're going to head for the large blue roof and small red roof building. The small red roof building is within contesting distance of the objective, so that is going to be a key position. The Shermans manoeuvring behind the hill are going to get themselves into line of sight of my lump of armour in the centre. The Shermans behind the hill failed their blitz, but they're still going to move up onto the crest of the hill to support the platoon that has moved in behind the hedges. And then over behind the wood, where the Crusader and aircraft are hiding, they're going to move out onto the road so that they can start shooting up the infantry that have debussed. They can get themselves into a position to catch my guys in the open with no concealment.
Turn 2 British shooting.
So you start with your plane?
Starting with the plane, going to try and choose this tasty option and try and dodge the incoming NG fire.
So I'm going to start with 488s. 2 of them you're going to get concealment from because there's a wood in between me and you. So what are you to hit normally?
5.
5 to hit.
So 6s for those 2.
That's quite difficult. Right, and then another 2. They only get 1 dice each, these 88s. Oh dear. I seem to be really enjoying rolling 2s today. Then the dedicated anti-air from the command half track, it gets 1 hit, and then 3 MGs, 3 dice for the MGs from the other half track. 1, so that's 1 MG and 1 ordinary, 1 cannon, sorry.
So the save is 3 up. So for the cannon, and then the MG.
If only it was the other way around. Oh. Well, 1's dead, but I don't think that's necessarily going to affect you, depending on what you're firing. 5 rockets.
Yeah.
Right, so that's a template anyway, and the number of planes doesn't matter.
So we've only got 1 plane left instead of 2.
So what is it you actually? If you drop it here, that will get you 4 of them and a lot of them, or you can just try and splat.
No, I'll do a bit of both.
That gets you the most tanks.
I'd rather go for a half infantry, a half tank, so that
Like that.
maybe a bit more to do.
So more infantry.
Yeah.
Right, so that'll be 4 Panzer IVs and 6 Paces infantry.
So I've got a range in, so it's a 4 normally, so 5's for terrain.
Right, so my guys are aggressive, so we're hitting on 5, so if that's just a big lump, I think just roll 6 dice, eh? So it's 2 of them hit, and then let's roll the tanks individually because it might be important. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's hit. What's your anti-tank?
Anti-tank is 5 for rockets.
So 5 power to kill. It's cocked.
That'll do it.
Right, so he's a goner. And then 2 infantry. 1's away. Just take a guy from the middle. Right, next.
So next we're going to go for the Crusaders, and going to shoot the infantry in the open. 2 dice each for moving.
So just
hitting
like
on 3s. And
right.
so 4 hits.
Oh no. Another 2 away. Just see targeting those 2. That's terrible, folks. My infantry platoon's gutted already. Just lucky that they're not reluctant. Right, see what you can do with tanks now.
So with the tanks, I'm going to start with the platoon over here. We've got 3 Shermans and 1 Firefly. So we're going to aim hitting on a 3, 4's for range and 5's for concealment. 1 hit, and then 1 for the Firefly. Also hit.
Right, so where are you applying them?
Let's go for this chap and this chap.
Who's the Firefly?
Let's go for this chap.
Right, roll your 5 power for him then. He's a goner. My guy's... what am I thinking? Ah, he's a goner as well. Oh no, I can't make a save. I only needed a 3 to at least survive and stay alive. Right, on the hill now with a failed blitz. But that'll be the same because there's no concealment.
So I might go for 3 Shermans against this remaining chap, and then the Firefly against the Panzer IV.
Okay, doke.
So the 3 shots from the Shermans, 1 hit, and then the Firefly.
Oh dear, 5 power for the Firefly.
So Firefly.
He's dead. And another guy. See, he's staying alive for what that's worth. Which one are you aiming at?
This chappie.
I'll try mistaking target then, just to try and keep him closer to the middle.
And lastly, we've got a few commando shots. So we've got a rifleman there, and then we've got 1 rifleman there, and another one upstairs. So 3 and a Piet. So the 3 riflemen needing 4s.
One of your guys is upstairs, so I don't get concealment.
So he will be on a 3, and then 2 on 4s. So just 1 hit, and then the Piet is a 5.
It's alright, I can't save anyway. No, this game is just an absolute disaster. First turn of shooting against me and my army has literally disappeared.
And that will be me.
Turn 3. Right, Jim in turn 3 and I have got just about nothing left, unfortunately. Try and unpin them, and I do. The HQs with them to support. Last stand. He's staying. And then reserves. 1. Oh dear, this is just gone absolutely terrible, folks. You can't really hang back waiting for your reserves if they don't come on in this game, because you've got to get... I mean, I'm still nowhere near that, and we're in turn 3. You have to keep pushing forward. So, I get the feeling I'm just going to get smashed to bits, but we'll keep pushing on. I'm in turn 3 movement, and I have to decide what the hell I'm going to do with what's left down there. So I've decided my infantry are going to move in for the kill. Either get killed or do some killing themselves. We'll see how it goes, but hanging about there doesn't look like it's going to be a good idea. You know, if I just sit even in the buildings, I'll probably still get shot to bits. So I'm going to try and put the defenders under pressure. So my reserves are going to arrive, and that railway track going right across my deployment zone is a bit of a speed bump. It means I cannot do my cross-country dash speed, so I'm basically going to move up to it and stop. But I'm going to try follow me's for everything that stops there. So next following turn, if I'm successful, I can then do my cross-country dashes to try and get up the table, because as you can see, they're really quite separated from what would have been my my spearhead unit here. Now, the units that are up there, the HQ is hiding behind the house, try and keep him alive, but that's about it really. And then on the hill, these guys, probably too late now, they're going to come down to support that central force, or what was that central force. The flank threat, well, that's, I'm just going to have to deal with that when it happens. If I'd have moved them off earlier, there would always have been that flank threat, but I may well have forced Laurence to keep his second platoon of Shermans on that side of the table and away from my central force. So during my turn 3 shooting, I'm going to start with a smoke bombardment, folks. And I make it, thankfully. So it's not massive, it's only 3 guns. Where I want it to go, it's going to be like here. So to there. Right. So in terms of shooting, well, these all fired at the dictates and anti-aircraft, so they can't fire. So what I'll be doing is I'll be firing him at them, so I need 5s. I'll fire him first, needing a 5. You can only see the one guy. Right, that's probably straight through. I don't think I've got that much armour. He's just bailed. And then the Panzer III, have a go at them as well, get another hit. You can try mistaking target onto the bailed one if you want. Yep, so once again 9. What's your front armour? You might be able to make it.
Let's have a look. I think it's 3.
I think so.
3.
Right, you can match it. No. He's a 4. Right, so he's away. Your infantry are going to shoot into that house, but you've got smoke and concealment, so 6s. No. And that's it, folks, because everything else dashed. So it's just going to be an assault. So defensive fire will be from this house and anybody who's on that side of that house.
So we got 1, 2, 3 and a Piet.
Right, so 6 dice and a Piet looking for... Let me see. Right, so that one there, I'll be concealed. One of the bottom concealed, so that's a 3. The one there is just going to be the smoke. Nope. And then...
I'm rolling 1 dice here, sorry.
Oh, right.
There.
Do another dice for the bottom guy. Nope. And then the top guy. Nope. And then... No, because
is it not
smoke.
just a 4?
Smoke. Oh, there's a smoke, sorry, I'm talking rubbish. 1 hit. And then one of the guy in there, 2 dice. And then the Piet. No. Right, so 2 saves. Oh, try and make a save, man. Can't seem to save. Now, I am hitting you back on 5, so this would take a bit of a miracle. Nope, so you got to motivate to counter-attack. And you do, so they'll be too far away, so I'll just put those two there. Twos. Oh. Okay, that would do it anyway, just take one away. Doesn't the guy stay in? Nope, so he's going to back off. And that will be that. That's the end of that platoon. I had to chance it, folks. If I got myself into those houses, I might have been able to stay there, or at least generate a bit more activity around there. So that's going to be it for German turn 3.
So turn 3 for the Allies. I've got last man standing over there for my Crusaders on a 4-up required. So he's kicking, staying in for another turn. I've got my plane to come. It comes on, and I've got my reserves, which I don't get. So
Plane's on though.
plane is on.
British turn 3 movement. So the plane's going to try and take out the artillery. Laurence wants to keep his infantry alive in that house, and artillery might be a problem for them. Otherwise, he doesn't really have much in the way of firing options because of the smoke, so he's going to just put more infantry into that red roof's house just to keep that as strong as possible. It's a really strong forward position. If he can make it difficult for me to assault it, then he can keep himself within 4 inches of the objective.
So turn 3 is shooting. I've got a pier within this building here. I'm going to aim over here and just try and take out one of the half tracks, hitting on a 3, and I've missed. Right. But I'll shoot rockets instead, based that they don't get affected by only having the one plane. So to range in, I'll be needing a 5.
An aircraft fire, first of all.
Sorry.
I reckon you got concealment from one of my guns, right? Terrible. Right.
That's unfortunate. So I'll be ranging in 4s normally, but 5s because of the hill. So first go, I get it. Hitting on 3s, is that right?
No, they're careful.
4s then. So just as they lie. So just a 1 hit.
Oh my goodness.
And then that will do it.
Anything else?
That's me.
Right, because the smoke's obscuring. That'll be gone next turn. Turn 4. Demi turn 4 starting step. Reroll. Sorry. Last stand with a reroll for him. Last stand with reroll for... Oh, I really needed a mistake because they could have kept all those half tracks. He was just going to hopefully stay and then mount up in that so I could shower them with shells, but bye-bye, which means the half tracks go bye-bye too. Oh, and then, for what it's worth, see,
4.
I get 1 reserve in, folks. German turn 4 movement. So my indecisive platoon of Panzer IVs on the far side, they're actually now going to head off to the flank. They're going to try to get around, put some pressure on the objective towards the back of the town, and perhaps in a turn or two on the Shermans on the other side, but that relies on the reserves not arriving there too. My reserve Panzer IVs are coming to the party so late they're just going to have to dash up the table. There's little likelihood of them hitting any of those Shermans, careful Shermans, long range concealed, if I can get into a firing position after a tactical move, so I'm just going to have to stick my head right in the noose, dash up the table and hope that there's still some of them alive next turn. To support this suicidal move, I'm going to make another suicidal move. The surviving Panzer III and the HQ are going to move out so that they are at least now contesting the objective and make Laurence choose one or the other in terms of shooting. There's actually potentially up to 3 platoons there he could be shooting at. Now the reserves are coming on the table. The other Panzer IV platoon is going to fail. Follow me to get over that railway line, so that means next turn I know they're going to be at a slower dash speed because they'll have to dash again. And round the far side of the town I tried to follow me with that flanking platoon of Panzer IVs, but they failed that too. Right, so this is German turn 4 shooting. the Wisps. Now the Wisps are going to try, this is actually really quite tricky. Because of the one that died, I can't really see much of that house now. How many's in that one again?
Just the two.
And is anybody in this one? One, two. Yeah, I could probably aim there, right? Because they can look up. Because seeing this house is too tricky enough to drop it into the field, it'd be danger close. Yep, so 2 in that one and 1 in that one.
Right, so we've got a light mortar.
Light mortar.
And an infantryman.
Infantryman and another house. So just the infantry. Oh, no, hold on. Nobody, because I need to reroll successfuls. Right, so these guys here.
These chaps. There's one in them. Did you roll for these?
I did, I.
Yeah.
These guys, have they got any actual targets that they can worthwhile shoot at? They might as well have a go at the hill. It's a very unlikely hit because you've gone to the ground. First guy, aiming at the firefly, and then aim another one. And I think that's it for shooting. That's all I've got, folks. All my guys are having to dash to try and get into the game because they've been so slow coming on. And
Really shoot my men.
I know they fired anti-aircraft last time. So that is it, folks.
So I start with my turn 4. I have a last man standing for my Crusader on the far, and he runs off, failing that, needing a 4 up. I've got my plane, doesn't come on this turn, and I've got 2 dice for reserves, with 1 coming on.
So I think it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what are you bringing on?
I'll just bring on the Achilles just to spice things up.
And where are they coming on? You've got targets on both flanks, so
let's have a look.
Coming on over there, which is probably good for you because you've got this side well covered. Not really much movement in turn 4 for the British. Everything is in position. They're in position to shoot my tanks, hold on to objectives, so it's really just about the reserves. And as you can see there, giving a warm welcome to those Panzer IVs moving up the flank.
So turn 4, we're going to move on to the old shooting step here, following my movement. So for movement I have got my reserves on. My M10s came over on the far corner here. They have moved up the road, and now they're going to take a shot facing the Panzer IVs coming my way. The 2 Sherman's platoons have stayed put. They are loading up the next volley, and hopefully we'll see a few more Panzer IVs burning.
Don't you just go straight into the shooting? If you see what I mean, and then you can summarise.
Got you. So for shooting, 4 M10s shooting at
3s.
Panzer IVs. 3s to hit. 3 hit.
3 firepowers.
3 firepowers. So I'll go from the front guy, middle guy, the back guy.
Oh well.
2 dead and a bail.
Right, next.
Let's have a. We'll go for this platoon first. We're going to aim at the commander.
Right, let's see. So it's long range. I forgot the commander's. Oh, I'm an idiot. The commander's careful. So, anyway, you'll need a 6 to hit him.
Well, maybe I'll go for the Panzer. If I hit the Panzer 3, does it spread over him?
Right. If you shoot him, I can choose to join that, but if you shoot that, I do not have to join. I can't join him. Right, so your options, you've got these guys shooting me in the open, right? You've got 1 in short range of him, the rest are in short range of him. Then everyone here's at long range.
Okay. Let's try this platoon here first of all. We're going to aim the Shermans at the Panzer IV and the Firefly at the Panzer III.
Right.
So 6 shots for my Shermans hitting on 6s against your commander in the Panzer IV. Nothing.
Aye, roll that one, that landed outside, so roll that again.
And then the Firefly.
No.
And
Range,
then
I can see.
next platoon, we're going to do the same. 2, 4.
Right, one of these is a short range on the HQ. Oh, two. Right, two of them are long range on the HQ. Another two. So, 2 hits on him, and then him, I think he's short range on that. That'll do it. So 2 firepower on him. It's a corner, and then I've got 2 saves to make. Right, so that's going to be a potential bail and a pass. Who's bailed? Stick that bail marker down on over there. And he's dead.
I'll just use this one. Okay.
Any other shooting?
I might try a Pete.
Where is he?
He's in here, so I might choose an 8-inch.
Right, so it's on the front. I'm just checking for the angle. So you're going to need a 5. 10, so that's potential bail. Oh my goodness. And he's gone. Disaster. Right, anything else?
I think that's me. I think that is me.
He gets to reroll. He's a commander. He's still going. Oh no, remount on a 3-up. It's a remount roll, so he's okay. Jim in turn 5 starts to... Does he get back in? Yeah. Does the single tank over there get back in? Yeah, so they don't have to do a last stand at least. And then reserves. I've still got 2 platoons. They're at least, they're coming on, but they're going to play no part in the game unless you want to put your plane next to my anti-aircraft. That's about it really. So I think that's about motivation. Over to movement. German turn 5 movement. So that most forward platoon of reserve Panzer IVs is going to tactically move up to get some shots at those Shermans. So it's going to be very, very hard to hit them because they're concealed at range and careful. The platoon behind them, they are going to dash as good as they can over the railway track, but the railway track is going to slow them down again. On the far side of the table, the Panzer IVs that survived the arrival of the Achilles, well, they are going to shoot with the hope that they can then manage a 5-up blitz, 5-up shoot and scoot to get behind the cover of the tree line. The second platoon of Panzer IVs manages a follow me, so they're just going to keep moving on up. I need to get as many tanks up near that objective for next turn as possible, because as you know, turn 6 is a critical turn and my reserves are feeding into this really too slowly. My reserve half-tracks didn't manage a follow me to get over the railway line, so they're going to have a slower subsequent turn next turn as they race up. German turn 5 movement, folks. So what movement? Shooting even. What we're going to start with. Repeat bombardment. So there's one guy in there. How many in there?
So we've got a motorman and a regular chap.
So a motorman, nope. Regular guy, nope. Another building.
Right, we've got 2.
No, it's just on that. Right, another event. I've got an 88 Sadent. Last turn, so very limited field of fire. Okay. So 3 are going to, in fact they're all going to go, one's going to go here and 3 are going to go there, right? So I'll be needing 7s. Except for the bazooka guy I'm going to target with 1 will be on a 6, right? Oh, so 1 hit on a 7, and you're fine, and then Zook's fine as well. Right, this platoon here is It's going to shoot up onto the hill looking for 7s, I think.
6s.
6s, sorry, just long range. Right, 4. Well, if I could kill something, I might get somewhere. This guy is going to go forward on 2, but he'll be in a 5 because one of them gets short range. He's hit it, but it's an ordinary Sherman.
So, is it short range?
Yeah.
So it'll be 6 against 11. Failed.
So it's the M guy.
Sherman.
I could have tried to target him, but I would have needed a 6, so with 5. Oh, aye, and then on the far side, 4 dice looking for 5. Just a 1.
Must be a firepower for him.
Your front armour is...
I think it's like...
Is it 5 or 4?
If you just... I think... Double check. It's not very good. Uh, 5.
So we've got a chance. I want to target, what would I want to target? The end guy. Him, yeah. And then they're going to do a 5 up shooting scoop. So they're going to move here so that they can't be seen. So, right, and I think that is going to be it.
So starting step turn 5 for me, I have the plane to come on. It comes on, and I've got 3 dice for reserves. So just a 1 reserve, and I've got no motivation.
Where's the reserve coming on?
So let's have a look. So
Over
this
there.
side of the table once more.
British turn 5 movement, so Laurence is starting with his reserves. He's going to bring on the Stuarts to beat up those surviving Panzer IVs. 4 Stuarts against side armour 3 tanks, you know, that's a good proposition, though they will be in a little bit of danger from the 88s. But the 88s are busy trying to shoot down planes just now, so he's going to, you know, like draw fire away one way or another with them. So the Achilles are going to move up through the town to help deal with this poor lump of armour that's moving up into the Valley of Death. They now have the plane, the Achilles and 2 platoons of Shermans facing them.
So turn 5 shooting step. I've got my Stuarts here, going to try and shoot these chaps in the side and finish them off. So the oval works, so we're going to be hitting normally on 3s going up to 4s. 2 dice hits, so 1 on each.
Right, so that's going to be a 7 and a 10, so the 7's a potential bail, so it's the one nearest you.
Next we're going to do the 2 M10 shooting at the 2 Achilles shooting at the commander.
Right, so I'll
Both
attach
within
one.
close range, so hitting on 3s to 4s.
5s, he's
5s.
What do you call it?
Warrior.
Careful.
Nothing. Next we'll do the plane. I'm going to try and range in. Ranging in on 4s normally, hitting on 5s. Do you have any?
Right, the will be an aircraft fire. You can't put the edge of it any closer than that, but that's still enough to get everybody.
Perfect.
Right, just because it's danger close. So the will be an aircraft fire. Let's see if the 88s can redeem themselves. They get 1 hit.
So 3 up save, so he's shaped it off.
So where do you want to put it?
Yeah.
Whatever you put it, it's going to have terrain under it.
So we'll go 4s to 5s for ranging in.
Right, first guy on a...
5.
I think attempt 5, yeah, for him. Nope, but then a 4 for him. So him, he rolls a 4, so that's going to be a potential bail. He rolls a 6, and then he rolls a 5, so potential bail.
Nothing. Nothing. Okay, so next we're going to go for the platoon on the hill shooting at the chaps in the open.
Who are you going for? You're going for the HQ. He's going to be a 5 to hit there, a 4. Just for range.
So I'm just going to shoot the platoon in the open on 4, so the 6 shots from the Sherman.
4.
4 shots, yep. Okay. 2 hits. And then the Firefly, 1 hit.
Which one are you not? Who's taking the Firefly?
Guy at the back.
Him, right, okay, and then the 2 Sherman ones?
The front 2 is fine.
They 2?
Yep.
Right, I'm going to try and stay in target. Okay, so I'll do a few straight firepower on him, right, so I'll get that done.
He's bailed.
Right, and then long range, they're going to be saves because they'll be armour going up to 7.
Next platoon, going to do the same, so 6 shots.
And this, look for 5s then. Because 3 normally 4 range, because you want this one, I'll do it. Right,
3 hits.
Right, and then the big gun.
Nothing.
Right, so you're going to put it on the unveiled ones?
Yep.
I'll try mistaken target from him, no. Right, so that means 1 chance to bail. He's bailed. Yes, bazooka. Try
Bazooka.
to kill my HQ again. No.
It's not been overly successful.
The critical turn 6. So I've got motivations by the score. Remount to do with a reroll. Yep. Yep. Without a reroll. Almost cocked. Yep. I don't have any more reserve. No last stand. So that's it for motivations. On to movement. German turn 6 movement. And remember folks, turn 6 is a critical turn in this mission because I can win the game from here, have that chance, and Laurence can win the game from here as a defender by keeping me more than 8 inches away from the objective. So I need to keep pushing on up, can't just sit. So my reserve half-tracks, they're going to just keep piling up the table. The Panzer IVs that are being chased by the Stuarts are going to move up to the road, try and get some concealment from some of the Stuarts at least, and get shots down onto the Achilles. And then the rest of the Panzer IVs, those that are stationary and with targets, are going to stay put, but I need to move more up closer to that objective because a concentrated round of firing against those within 8 inches could end the game next turn for Laurence. So I need to move up, shoot back as much as I can, but get as many Panzer IVs within 8 inches off that objective as I can. And here I use the old hand rule to get a successful blitz move for the forward platoon so that I can get them within shot range and also make a bit of space for the guys behind them to move forward. German turn 6 shooting folks. So I'm going to start by firing the Panzer IVs down at the Achilles. Now, here we go. I was hoping to get them with them then, and they wouldn't have to fire that way. So the HQ is going to shoot the Achilles looking for 5s. See, your turn last time wasn't very good. Right, the rest of this platoon, 2 are going for Achilles and 2 are going for the hill. So these 2 here, they blitzed. 1 hit on Achilles.
Short range, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what did we say it was?
5. So you need 6 for a bail. Right, front one's away. Oh no, actually, that one. I'm going in for that one. You can try and mistake target onto him. It's to your advantage.
Yeah.
And you do, right? Aye, you want it on him. Because I was going to try and shoot another one from the other. Let me see, that was... Aye, he can't see, right? So that means the rest of this platoon are going up onto the hill. just the one hit. Now let me see. What targets your firefly thing?
And he's just
So you-
popping it over here.
Yep.
So it'll be. That's what the doctor ordered.
So these guys are long range, up on a hill. One on the firefly again.
I'll try and swap it. 6 to 7 is a fail.
That's I'm going for that one there. Don't know if you want to. Oh, no, in fact, I'm going to go for that one there.
That's fine.
Right, Martelli, see if you can actually hit anything. So there's one guy in there. Oh, I've managed to hit him. And then there's a light mortar. Nope, ordinary guy. It's not bad. Right, so one save.
Possible.
Oh, they've killed one. Like shot quarter. I may as well try a shoot and scoot. Yes. And I said the 88s could have shot those Stuarts, but unfortunately they fired anti-aircraft last turn, so they can't shoot. So that's going to be it for shooting. Right, Laurence, in terms of motivation, I think
I don't have any motivation
fine.
tests. I've just got my planes to roll.
And still got reserves
and
actually, eh?
Reserves to roll. So I've got 4 dice to roll for my reserves.
So they're both coming on.
My last on.
See if you get your plane.
Plane.
Yes. So where's your HQ platoon coming on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So the Shermans.
Coming on over
there.
here.
And then
Avery's coming on over here. So you're nice and strong over here where everything's piling in. And then we'll stick your plane down, probably over there. British turn 6 movements. So Laurence, first of all, is placing his plane down to be as far away as possible from my anti-aircraft elements. Mainly that platoon of 6 half-tracks. The Stuarts, they're going to keep harassing the Panzer IVs and drawing fire away from the rest of his defence. The HQ are going to move up into position to start hitting my reserves in the flank, really start putting pressure on the Panzer IVs that are moving towards the objective. The Averys will move up to join them. They're going to head up that road there and, well, see what they can do. They can at least contest the objective. Otherwise, they're going to stay put, with the exception of an Achilles which is going to move through the town so it can also add its fire to the Panzer IVs.
Okay, start my shooting phase. I'm going to go for the Stuarts here. 4 shots, overworked. 3's normally 4's for overworked. 3.
Who's taking 2?
Let's go for 2 in heaven.
Right, so that's going to be one chance to bail him. He's bailed. The other guy, a chance to kill him. He is killed. Next.
So M10s. He will shoot this guy, if you can range or see him. Let's go for.
He's going to have to go for this platoon or the HQ.
I'll go for the HQ.
And then that guy with single shot.
We'll go here.
Right, okay, so they hit him on a 3, 1 dice on a 3. And then 2 dice on. What's a hit? Right, I'm going to try a mistaken target. And I do, so I'm going to stick it on that guy. Oh, he's not going to get a save when he goes, sorry. So he's a corner.
And then we'll go for the 2 Shermans that have just come on, shooting the chap in front of them,
Right.
hitting on
Threes.
threes.
So
Just
you're aiming at him, straight to 5 power. He's gone up.
I want to see what happens with my plane first, to see if I actually do any damage.
Plane over there. It's got a 14-inch range on the rockets, folks, which is pretty damn good because you can just hang back and not worry about an aircraft fire. So that's a problem though, so you're probably going to have to go back the way, right? You can't be within 8. Let me see, so 8 there, 8 there. You can't use it. It's set right at the back. Unless you weren't aware of that, you could pull him back so he's still alive because you would have missed him with that one single dice roll. And then
Yeah, I think that would be the best option.
so just take him back.
And he's alive time.
He's alive, and then that will allow you to get in like over here. And then there's that chunk there.
Okay, so
Right.
ranging in on a 5.
Right, okay. First guy then on a 5. So he rolls 5, so he's okay.
Still quite difficult, the old ranging in with these.
Planes are so unpredictable.
Okay, next go through the underneath your hand.
These guys, sorry.
Yeah.
Right, so you got a 75 and a Firefly. Currently still within 8 inches, you've got 2 for this platoon, 1 for that, plus the HQ.
Let's just go for the one that's yeah.
Right. Okay,
So the Sherman
nope.
and the Firefly.
Yes, so straight to 5 power. So Bill, now I'm going to do a try mistaken target. No, I don't. So which one were you going for? There's 2 of them within 8.
Yeah, the commander guy will be fine.
Okay,
Next platoon, same idea, same.
going for this,
Let's
you
go
guys
for
again,
the,
right?
so 2, 4, 6. So the Shermans. That's better.
4 hits.
It needed a 5, didn't it?
Yeah, it's long range as well.
And then 2 from the Firefly. Nothing.
Right, so who do you want to double up on? He's within 8, so you double up on him.
Yes.
And I'm going to try and swap, but so it'll be 2, 1, 1. I'm going to try and swap the 2 onto him. Yes, so 1 on him, 2 on him, 1 on him. Right, okay now. These are the long range, so that's what it's like, wasn't it? That's a 4. So that's going to be a chance to kill, and he'll be safe. Dead. Dead.
And then
He was safe. He rolled a 4, front armour 7 at range. So he was okay.
and then Pirate Man.
Right, you've got 2 choices here. You can go for the concealed guy or the guy in open. Oh, trying to pin them. I forgot all about them.
Oh, yeah.
You do. Right, guy in open.
Yeah.
It's a hit. That'll be 11, so he's okay.
And then shoot and scoot. I'll shoot and scoot the guys on the hill.
Right,
So they just go slightly back.
right, it's just going out of sight so you can shoot and scoop. And then blitz back up next turn.
Yeah.
Turn 7. Sherman starting step. Does he remount? He doesn't. Do they stick around? They do. Now I think. Let me see, what is that? 1 1 1 1. Yeah, he's on the last stand. He's still going. I'll check that. I don't know if they've got the right rule. I'll double check that. And I think that is it for motivation, folks. Sherman turn 7 movement. We didn't really think we were going to see turn 7 in this game as it was developing, folks, but the British dice failed just enough to allow me to build up a bit of strength around that objective. So in terms of movement, there's not going to be too much. The half tracks are going to be the main source of movement. The Panzer Grenadiers moving up, and the anti-aircraft half tracks, they're moving to get some shots onto the Stuarts. So the Stuarts are not only doing a good job shooting up Panzer IVs, they're also drawing off some of my attacking strength. Other than that, there's not a hell of a lot going on with movement, because the Panzer IVs that are forward are going to start shooting en masse. Shooting for turn 7. Right, I've got a couple of 88s that are firing down channels down this road. Right, 2 can see that one, 1 can see that one. Right, and they've got the range. So the one can see that one. Dramatic. These 88s are covering themselves in glory. And the other one's down the street. Well, he's hitting at least. And then one that can't shoot at them is going for Stuarts. Don't know if that was short range. It's long. No. So that'd be firepower on him. Just bailed. That's not very good. Right, my half tracks, my flak half tracks, let's see. For the side, one of them's going to be concealed, the other ones are right up against the concealing terrain, right? So these guys get a massive 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 5. So I'll double up on that one. So
the against.
That's perfectly fine.
Next one is passed. Not passed.
Right, so your side armour is 3, so there's a chance to bail 1, kill 1.
Yep.
So the bail is bailed, the kill is bailed. 2 bails. Oh, sorry, but I've also got front shots coming in. 1, 2, 3. Should have worked this all out at the same time. 1, 2, 3. So it's just going to be them, because it would have doubled up like that. So 1, 2, 3. So if you roll a 1, I can bail you. What is your front armour is 3. If I roll a 1, I can maybe kill you. A 2's, my front armour's 4. So you're fine. Sorry guys, I don't use Stuarts. There are 3 on the side, 4 on the front. He took a tactical move. He's going to fire a couple of shots. There'll be 2 hits. I want to get the non-bailed ones.
I'll try and jump a bit.
Yeah, you can. Second one. Yep. So, first bailed one, second bailed one, you're fine. Right, the HQ is going to have a go.
5.
2, so I can see both with him. So, first guy. Second guy. Oh, right. So, there's a chance to bail him and kill. So, the bail and then the kill. So, the
Double bail.
Yep. And you're fine, he's still alive. Right, so this platoon is going to turn their guns. And this one. Right. Oh, he's dead. He's not turning any guns. He's just going to have to shoot forward. So he's going to shoot forward. See if he's lucky. Get a firefly. No. These ones, short range into them. Looking for 5. 3.
Ooh.
Right, I'll double up on that one.
That's fine. So 6 against 11.
Oh, man. You've got to be kidding me, man. Dead. They should both be dead. I'd have been feeling a little bit happier with what was going on. Unbelievable. Well done. So that's them all fired. They're not going to be doing no firing any fire. Right. Artillery then, so I've got the light mortar, ordinary infantry guy, and then in that house. Oh. And him. He's moved into that, hasn't he? Yeah. Right. Shooting is good. Yes, because I'm going to do it on his old hand thing. And I think that's it.
Starting with motivations, I've got 2 chaps been bailed out just now. So for the first guy, he's back in, and he's back
Oh, they're
in.
loving it.
Got a pinned down chap here, or bailed out, sorry. He's back in. See if he runs away. He didn't.
Ah, dear.
He's liking it.
And I think that's it for motivation, so plane.
Just a plane. Oh, I could have done with him. But anyway, we'll have to do it without.
British turn 7. Not a lot of movement here, folks. I mean, everything is pretty much in position. There was a blitz move to get on to the crest of the hill from the Shermans, and the Avries have moved up to support the objective. Otherwise, it's sit in good firing positions and shoot away. Right, Laurence, so you're going to try and kill the tanks that I've got within 8 inches of the objective.
Yeah, so I'll aim for him actually, first of all, because he's a clear shot, and then I'll try and bounce them on.
Or
the Stuarts.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
So 2 shots each, all within 16, so I hit on 3s, 2, 4, 6.
3.
3,
Right, so I'm going to try mistaken target here,
so
right?
hit 1, 2, yeah.
Oh, what an idiot, man. I'm not done very good at mistaken targets. So I'll do the first important one first. He's okay. He's okay. There you go.
6, 6, 6, the devil.
You'll just have to do it with the big guns.
So I'll go for the Sherman first.
Right, so you want to target that guy there? Or? The HQ's harder to hit, but he's showing you side armour. But at the moment, he's the only one who can see the HQ. You might as well fire him first.
Let's go for M10, 2 shots.
Firepower? One firepower. Build
Oh.
it. Now I can't mistaken target that because there's no other tank within line of sight.
He can't contest it, can he?
Not as bailed, no.
So I just need to kill that last guy?
Yeah. So do you want to...
Let's go for him. So 2 shots.
5 will do it. Mistaken target, let's stick it on to... Okay. Chance to kill him. He's a killed. And then...
Yeah, so the guy's on a hill.
Right, on you go,
So
look for
the
force.
Sherman and the Firefly.
Right, so I'm going to try and mistake a target. Cocked. I don't. Take that peg, man. Oh.
You keep rolling one side to side, I'm like, oh man. Right, so, yeah, so 6 shots from the Shermans on that poor chap. Just 1.
And then the Firefly.
So I'll leave
So
the Firefly on the guy.
I'm going to try and mistake target. I do, so what's going on?
Can he range that, hit the back guy?
I think so, yeah, 28 inches.
Yeah.
Right, so Firefly's on him, firepower. Bailed, and then this guy safe.
All comes down to Piert Man, I guess.
Oh, I Piert. I got him, because I can't mistake target here. Did I have a chance to bail? Oh, that would have won you the game. Because it's 1 armour, folks, from that house. Turn 8. Right, folks, I've got motivations to do. I might as well start with him. Does he get back in? He does. And he stays. Normally, they get back in and run away. Does he get back in with a reroll? Yes. Does the HQ get back in? Yes. And that's going to be it for starting step. German turn 8 movement. Some infantry are going to dismount and move into the large red roofed house. Now I could just keep them there because that's a strong position within 8 inches off the objective, but you know the game's going to go on forever if I'm not going to be aggressive, so they are planning to do an assault. Elsewhere, the anti-aircraft half-tracks are going to move up to support them. I need to try and pin or damage the commandos in the small red roofed house as much as possible. The artillery again. So, light mortar guys are ordinary gear. Oh, come on, just one hit, that's all I need. And is there anyone else in there? Is there nobody in that one? And then the guy who was in there's dead. Oh, still one in there. The Achilles. Oh, for goodness sake. That's terrible. They would even have been hits if I never re-rolled them. Right, so my flak stuff's going to try and clobber these guys, right? On this side, I'll start with this platoon here, because I can see the bazooka guy, right? Who's not got on the ground. And he's on the ground floor, the other guys are on the upstairs. So I'll start with the flak. So, there's 2, and then there's going to be 1, 2, 3 other half turrets. So that's 6 hits on there. So I want to double up on the Piet and any other guy, so you can try and swap off. You do. So it's going to be 2 saves on 2 ordinary guys, 1 on the Piet, 1 ordinary guy.
So Piet and ordinary guys, 1 possible.
And then another
2.
Oh, sorry. Right. That was a Piet plus 1 ordinary guy with 2. You got an ordinary guy with 1. Right, and then another ordinary guy with 2. Right, so that was just the 1. And you're fine. Right, the flak half tracks on this side, well, the whole unit's going, but you'll be going to ground against these because I cannot shoot the Piet on the ground. So I'll go to these guys first of all. That's 1. And then just 3, sorry, 3. So whatever one, put 1 on the Piet, you can try and swap it off. And you do, so just 3 saves. And 1 potential. Yeah, 1's away. So 1 from in there. Right, that way, Panzer IV is going to have a go at your Achilles. Gets 1 hit, so it'll be straight firepower. He's gone. There's 2 of them in short range. So that's 3 hits, and then now there's a long. Just 3 hits, so 3 firepowers. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Dead bailed. These guys are going to face this way and have a go at your HQ. 3 hits on them. You've just got to roll another 3 6s and it'll be fine. That's 2 potential kills and a potential bail. Kills, he's got him. They're going to try shooting scout using him, by the way. No. I'm going to assault through here, right? So, well, depending on where have you got, I think it's only going to be the guys in that house who are going to have line of sight, so...
So, 2 guys in the Piet.
Right, so, the 2 ordinary guys first, because you're pinned. Okay, 1, and then the Piet. No. 3, it's a save, sorry. Right, so... Oh, right, okay, so I've got 2. You can make it the Piet and an ordinary guy, if you want, unless you want the Piet to stay alive, but he doesn't hit so well in assault.
Yeah, I'll just keep the 1 guy alive, the regular guy, see if he motivates, see if he kills anyone he does.
Right, then I'll have to motivate. And I don't, so I'm going to have to back off. So my guys will be... We're confused as to how the game's still going on, folks. As it is, I've still got a couple of tanks within 8. I maybe should have not done that assault, but it nearly worked, you know, even with the green guys. There's only 1 guy left in there now. So you can still get these 2 tanks next turn, and that will be game over because they failed their shooting scoot. If I'd passed the shooting scoot, then I would have been fine.
Okay, start my turn. I've got a few motivations to do. I've got a chap here to bail back in. He doesn't. See if the platoon runs off. They do. And what else? We got a pinned down platoon in here, but they are fearless and passed their test.
Sorry, there's going to be a few more commandos in there.
So I might move a few across for my movement. I don't think I have anything else. Oh, I've got my plane to roll in.
Oh, right. Oh well, here it comes. British turret movement. Not too much going on here, folks. Getting the plane down in a position where danger close isn't an issue. The Avries are just manoeuvring themselves a little bit further away from the threat of my infantry, getting themselves behind a hedge. And the infantry, the commandos, are going to move up into the small red roof house so that they can protect that position. It's becoming really quite important, as we kind of thought it would.
I'm going to start off with my plane. So what have we got for anti-aircraft?
Now you want to put this as far away from me as possible, eh? So 8 inches, let's see, it's going to be in this line here or back to here. It's not going to get that's really your target because of danger close.
What I'll probably do, just for the fun of it, I'm just going to use their guns.
It's still danger close. Any shooting?
Oh, I thought it was just template.
No, it's any aircraft shooting. So
let's do the
you want to get it
14-inch.
as far away from me as possible, but still concealed. To get away from as many of these guns as you can.
Yeah.
Can you see that, folks? It's in the wood, right? And that will reduce my defensive fire and get you concealment. So I'm going to be defensive fire, anti-aircraft fire, not them, but this stuff, right? So Luftwaffe 88s to see if they can do the job. So it's normally a 5, did you say? So 6s. Right, and then here, this flak. Platoon gets 4. So 4 saves. Oh,
Bulletproof.
I thought he was a goner. Right. This is unbelievable.
1.
No hits.
Alright.
Because you concealed.
6, isn't it? Okay.
Because you're in the woods. I don't get it. You're flying a plane in the wood. Right, so you can now try and drop a template on them.
Okay, so 5s.
First guy.
On a 4.
Second guy. Right, first guy roll. Almost saved.
Gold Struth.
Right.
That it?
Yep.
It's not that exciting. Okay. I just need to kill those 2. So I'm going to start with the HQ, shooting the HQ.
Right. Oh, these guys you mean?
Yeah.
Right, shooting HQ. Both of them going for him?
Yeah.
Right. Look for
So
5s.
So the Sherman, Firefly.
Right, so I'm going to try mistaken target. Oh, he's going to join the platoon, so one goes on him, and you can choose another one for it to go on to.
Him.
Right, aye. So, first mistaken target. Right, so these 2. So firepower on him. And on him. No, there's nothing wrong with the firepower on the Fireflies today. Right, these guys.
So I'll just have to do the same, I guess, but 6s or 5s.
He didn't fire last time, so he's gone to ground. So it'll be 7s. 7s or 5s. There's only one tank left alive from that platoon.
I thought I was going to get more with that plane, otherwise I would have shot my cannon at the guy. So I'll just do the 3 Shermans at the... So 7s for all of them?
No, 5s, 7s. .
So I'll just aim for the guys hitting on a 5.
Right. So is everyone going for him?
So he's the last guy left, isn't he?
In the platoon, yeah.
Yeah, let's just all go. So the Fireflies will go for the HQ,
Right.
and the other ones will go for the chap on his own. 2, 4, 6. So 1,
And
and then the Firefly.
What a bugger, man. I'll actually lose more Panzer IVs to Shermans than I do to Fireflies.
I don't think I have anything else to shoot. Not really bother shooting these guys in the hill.
Turn 10, I think it is. Do they unpin? They don't. And the HQ isn't close enough for a reroll, which is probably going to end the game. What do you think? Right, okay, so what else? I'll think of what else. There's nothing else in the way of motivations because everything is either... Oh no, sorry, him. He's staying. And that's it. German turn 9 movement. The Panzer Grenadiers, they're remounting and they're going to get into the half tracks. Lots of nice successful cross checks to get over into the field so that they're still threatening that small red roofed house, and that's several vehicles, quite a lot of teams within contesting distance of the objective too. So it's a very, very risky move, but it's an aggressive move that I really need to do. And my HQ, to keep him safe, I'm just going to try and get him out of that total cauldron of fire at the moment and move him behind the large red roofed house. Spotter's actually going to try cross check again, right? So they're just going to spot himself, boom, down onto that. Yep. So 2 guys under the template. Yep, one's hit. And you're fine. That's a pin. Might be useful. Here now, 4 of these half tracks can fire. Going for this house. Because you moved in, they're a wee bit easier to hit, but that's still not very good. That's 4. So 4 saves.
2 possible.
1 away.
So it could be any of these, I guess.
It's this one I'm going for.
6 inches.
Oh, do you want to do my sting target when you go?
Well, how many's in there? 4. 1, 2, 3.
I thought that house was full. Do you want to just put it on there then? So.
Yeah. I'll take
Right, this lot will have a go. So the cannon, first of all, no, then there's 1, 2, and the next lot. 3 more on this. So if you want, you can try mistaken target to put 1 over there.
Do it. 1 possible.
It's fine. The Panzer IV is going to have a go at that dramatic stuff. 88s can't shoot because they did anti-aircraft last time.
Didn't they do an aircraft as well?
2 of them did, but remember you placed it all the way over there, so only 2 were in range. Laurence, your starting step, they would have been pinned from all that fire. So
they're still pinned.
Right, and I think that's it for motivation.
Just my plane.
Oh, the plane, I was kind of wanting to forget about the plane. Where do you want to put it? This is all danger close here.
I'll just try and I'll just
put it 14 away from them, so that it reduces what's coming in there.
Okay, let's do that.
Right, okay, on to movement. British turn 9 movement. Well, there's not really anything happening here, folks. Laurence is just going to move those averages up so they can clobber the half tracks. Otherwise, everything can just sit, stay put and shoot.
So, in terms of shooting, we'll start off with the plane. Do you have any defensive fire you want to take?
Yes, I don't think he's going to be within 20. Right, so this unit first, let's see. Let's just basically grab all your dice. Eight.
So 4 possible. Yes.
First time I've ever destroyed planes in Flames of War.
Shooting then, we're going to start shooting at the guys on the hill,
Right,
then
okay.
over here.
So you don't have to worry about the difference between them, so it'll be force. That's 2, so straight to firepower. Are you going to pick on anyone in particular?
Let's go for these two.
Right.
So the guy at the back, bailed out and bailed out.
Next.
Next we'll do the same, so 6 shots,
Just do them all.
8 shots.
1, 2, 3. Because I've got 5. So you want to do 1, 2. I'll try and move it from the bailed out one. Can I? No. So it's going to be 1, 2, and which one of them do you want?
The last one.
Last one. So firepower. I'll do a save. He's dead. Hold on a minute. I'll put him. Oh, I'll leave him there. Right. Firepower. Oh no, sorry, firepower. So bailed, and then firepower. Bailed. So that was the HQ half track. So he is now one of those teams, if you see what I mean.
And then I'll shoot with my Averys.
Right.
Just a template. Arranging in 3s normally is 4s for terrain. I get it.
Right. So let's hit this one. Yep. Yep. Yep.
He's destroyed him.
Okay. So. 3. So is that what's your anti-tank?
1, so
Chance
just
to
be.
bail him.
I think he's bailed already.
Right. So that's a bail.
I think he's. Yeah.
So 3 is not enough for a remount, so that will be destroyed. Now, as I understand it, if it's destroyed, the guys will have to make a motivation, and so a save, because the vehicle counts as destroyed if it's double build. Oh dear. So there's another one away.
So how does it work now if I assault? Oh, I can't because I'm bailed out. Well, that's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
I might just try and shoot them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
I'll try and shoot them in.
I'm going to try and target the guys, right? Okay, so I'll be forced to hit. 1 chance to kill him. It's a bulletproof cover because he's kind of wreck.
Okay, that'll be me, I think.
So, whatever turn it is for me, folks, right? Do the guys on pin? No. It probably means I'm not going to be able to do anything this turn, which means it's going to drag on and on and on. If I'd unpinned, I would maybe have tried to get an assault on and maybe just try to make you run away, or try and make them run away, or such like. So, Laurence, how do you feel? Do you want to just call it there?
I think a draw would be the best option, I think, just now, in terms of time. I think what was what I thought was going all my way has resulted in a successful, move to that particular area, and I just can't seem to kill enough.
I'm slaughtered, like.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely slaughtered. I've lost 12 Panzer IVs, 4 Panzer IIIs, several half-tracks, a platoon and a half of infantry.
If we had another 3 hours, I'd probably get there eventually, but
yeah.
I think in terms of a time limit for games, it would be a draw for sure. Yeah. I think there was certainly opportunities within the game that I could have potentially won it with a dice roll, but it's it's just a dice game. We couldn't change anything about that. So
This mission's such a brutal mission. I don't like it. This is the second time I played it. The first time I played it, I didn't like it from the point of view of the defender, especially because the terrain I had to move into was completely open, so I couldn't even move into concealment to sit on the objective. And secondly, I thought, poor attacker as well. They've got to stick their neck right down the table. And like here in this game, delayed reserves meant I had to just send a platoon of tanks up with a platoon of infantry.
I think it's quite suited for as a kind of defender as a tank army, because you have that mobility to move, and I think the terrain in this particular game really suited me well. There was a speed bump at the very start of your start line, and ultimately as the game started progressing, you know, I was quite happy that I achieved and knocked out pretty much the first platoon that came my way, and I thought perhaps optimistically that when the next platoon arrived I would then do the same, and then when the third platoon arrived I would do the same thereafter.
One mistake for me as the attacker in this game is placing, I put an objective there thinking, oh, it's in the open. It's going to be easier to get to. I should have put it there because I subjected myself to fire from that hill, and with me being aggressive, losing the benefit of concealment was really bad. If I put it over there, I maybe could have rushed up to hide behind this and then work my way through. So that's my learning point from this. Don't attack into the face of a hill, especially if you are aggressive. It's quite an interesting list, like this Panzer training school, and but I think I could have done things better and I could have used it better in this game. I got smashed to bits as I should because they're easy to hit, but then Laurence's dice just kind of stopped working for a few critical turns. I think that made all the difference. Anyway, folks, that's us done. It's a hot day. Laurence has got a barbecue to go to, and I think I'm going to have to go cut the bloody grass. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Sorry we couldn't get it out to a result, but we believe me, we tried very hard, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks. If you're a subscriber and if you'd like to subscribe, hit the button and then hit the bell button, which means we'll definitely see you all on the next one. Cheers. Turn 1. So turn 1 for me, folks, because I can't bombard, it's really just going to be about movement, and everyone's just dashing. These guys are dashed onto a hold down position on the hill. He probably needs to be back a wee bit to claim that. The observer's dashed up to look down the side, and this lump is dashed up to start moving towards that objective. So because I've dashed and I really don't have much in the way of line of sight on anybody anyway, there's not going to be any shooting. So a very dull, uneventful turn 1.
So the movement so far is I've moved up my commando troops. We've got some units situated in these 3 buildings here. I tried a follow me move, however I failed. So the leader went forward 4 inches, but the remaining troops stayed as they were. So these 3 buildings now populated with my troops. I passed using a follow me move.
Across here,
sorry. And ultimately they then moved across from the hedge. I've kept my troops behind that hill stationary, as they would not be in range for the most part. Only the Firefly could hit, so I wanted to try and entice them a little bit further forward before saying hello. My Crusaders just moved slightly behind the woods more to await next turn.
And no plane turned up this time.
No plane and no shooting just now.
Turn 2. Sherman turn 2, turn summary. So in terms of reserves, nothing turned up again, folks. It's going to be slow to get the push on. So I'm going to have to just take the pain and move my guys up. As you can see, the infantry have debussed and the half-tracks are given some flank protection there. The tanks have moved into this terrain. It's not going to provide any cover from them, but we're now both in range of each other. So I'd imagine they're going to move up and then we're going to have a fight on our hands, and there may well be reserves arrive right here as well, which could be nasty. But that just comes down to the dice. So I've moved up. There was a little bit of shooting. He fired at one of the houses, got 1 hit, but a save was made. And then my Wesps could see down here, they managed to range in only on the third attempt, only in fours, so didn't get any hits on the guys in and around those buildings. So a fairly uneventful turn again for the Germans.
So I started the turn rolling in for my aircraft. I was successful and that came on the table. I didn't have any reserves and I didn't have any morale checks to make, so I started off with my moves, moving up to the hedges over here and behind the hill to get some firing positions on the go. Crusaders came round the flank and I aimed directly down here, and you can see by the burning wrecks that it's been a successful turn for me. I started off with the shooting. Ultimately took out some Panzer IIIs and my second squad at the back, although didn't kill anyone at the front. They did take out the second in command tank Panzer IV here. My Crusaders got some shots on with the infantry platoon. A few rifle platoon stands shot the infantry up, and my plane ultimately did the work, took out some infantry and some tanks. So
No, the plane, I don't think the plane got any tanks, did it? Did they get one? Got one.
Got one.
Got one tank. But you lost a plane as well.
Lost the plane, but overall very happy as to how this turn went.
I basically got a wasted platoon of infantry left. They're not going to do anything. Him, he's probably going to run away in one tank. So my attack is effectively dead. Turn 3. So, German turn 3 turn summary. So let me think. In terms of motivation, there was a last stand that was passed and an unpinning that was passed. In terms of reserves, only the one, folks. I've got one, that's him there. They dashed and followed me, but I've still got 3 platoons off table. They're not even going to get in the game at this rate, unfortunately. And that happens when you've got lots of cheap platoons in reserve, because they just soak up the points. So in terms of other movement, well, my infantry moved up. You can see what happened whenever they moved up. They guys dashed over as well. They couldn't really do anything this turn because they fired an anti-aircraft, as did them. These guys take put. So my shooting started off with a smoke bombardment, so that I'm at least getting some protection from them, though the reserve can still get me. And then in terms of other shooting, let me see. Between the two of them, they managed to kill, one of them was dead, managed to kill one of them. And the infantry moved in for an assault. They managed to get in, lost one on the way in, and then lost one. It caused no hits because they need a 5. It's a bit of a mad effort, but I've got to try and do something to get myself up contesting this objective. Managed to get in, 2 chances to hit, missed. These guys motivated, they're fearless, remember, hit back on a 2. They got 1 hit, so there's 2 of them dead and the survivors back there saying, oh well, it's been a lovely war. We'll see if he sticks around, if he's still alive next turn. So, my stuff's moving up now, but it's... If they'd still been alive and I'd been able to shoot back and start knocking out tanks, or at least contesting things, then I'd be confident of my slow arriving reserves getting up in time, but could well run away, effectively dead, so we'll have to see what happens, folks.
So to start my turn, I didn't roll successfully for any reserves, only the 1 dice roll this turn. I was successful in rolling in my plane. That came on now for the 2nd turn in a row. Didn't have any motivations to do beyond a last man standing for my 2 Crusaders, which successfully passed. Within the movement step, just hid my Crusader out the way. There wasn't really a lot of targets for him to do. My 2 Sherman platoons remained stationary. Ultimately the smoke screen is doing its job for this turn, so it's prevented me doing any return fire. So on to the next turn. I ended to the shooting. My plane did come on. I was originally planning to use my cannons, but there's only 1 plane, so I've opted for the rockets. I ranged in first go, ultimately, and got successfully hit on the one, and Frank unfortunately failed to save, and I managed to destroy it. So job well done for the plane.
More importantly, the 88s missed again. If they could have got 1 hit, that would have been the end of the unit, but they're not having much luck. Turn 4. German turn 4 turn summary. So in terms of motivations, the surviving infantry base ran away and took all those lovely half-tracks with him. He stayed. In terms of reserves, well, I rolled 4 dice and got nothing, so 1's turned up. they're over here. They failed to follow me to get over this. That's slowing them down. They won't be able to dash their full cross-country dash now again because of that. The guys dashed up too. There's no point in trying to move up and get in position to shoot. I have to be up here, which means I've got to stick the head in the noose. The guys dashed around there, failed to follow me. The wee observer's moving up with them. And then in terms of shooting, that really just left these guys to try and hit them on 7s because they're going to ground. And there was obviously no hits there. So I'm just going to get splattered next turn, folks.
So summary of my turn, turn 4. So I didn't get any planes on. I did get reserves on here, my M10s. For movement, ultimately I got these moved on to the side of the table. Sherman stayed put. Infantry stayed put. Onto my firing. Got my 4 M10s shooting down here with 2 destroyed and 1 bailed. And also for my 2 platoons over here, I managed to destroy one and bail the other. And my Piat for my infantry squad shot at the commander. Successfully got a bail on him, meant the double bail, with Frank then failing.
Hold on a minute. He gets to reroll. He's a commander. He's still going. Oh no, remount on a 3-up. It's a remount roll, so he's okay.
For double
Yes, double bails and immediate.
So he's just bailed.
Because he got a protected ammo. So he's still alive. And that's just some really poor consolation for me, folks. But I mean, you're shooting in that turn. When you consider all that firing against these, it wasn't that
successful this turn.
No.
Wasn't that successful, and I needed my little Piat to double bail, well, in an attempt to get rid of him, but he still bailed out. But ultimately, looks like I've managed to knock off this platoon, hopefully, and see how that develops.
Yeah, whenever your reserves arrived, they were going to get shots on me because it was either going to be this flank or that flank. And there's one more platoon that's definitely going to be coming next turn. So in terms of motivation, he go back in. And that was it in terms of reserves. Well, the last reserves have arrived, folks, infantry and flak, but it's turn 6 next turn. What you can see in terms of movement, the guys tacticaled up so I could do some shooting because I've got another turn to do something. About getting towards that, the guys dashed up. The guys dashed, tried follow me's and so on as best they could. The guys stayed put. And that's it. They call it Valley Death, but it's more like Wall of Death at the moment. So in terms of shooting, they managed to get 1 hit and a kill on an Achilles. Over here, those lot missed, but he managed to get a hit and a kill on an ordinary Sherman. And then the artillery once again failed to hit anybody. They're on re-rolls, remember guys, but they're not doing very successfully with the re-rolls either. So that's it. Just have to see if there's some kind of miracle next turn and I manage to get all these guys up. But the chances are this next platoon is going to get killed, then they'll move up, and then they'll get killed, and then that'll be it.
So to start my turn, I got some Stuarts on reserves, moved them across this side to fight here. I did get my plane on. For movement, I also moved my M10s from here across the board to try and help defend the oncoming horde. The 2 Sherman platoons stayed put, open fire. As you can see, not always successful. Only out of all the shooting with the 2 platoons and the aircraft and these M10s, I only have 2 bailed out tanks to show for it. So I do have a bailed out tank here, so that perhaps put them on a last man if they can't get back in, but overall it could have been a lot better.
I know, but now it's turn 6, so this is where things could start to fall to bits for me, because I've still got such a large part of my force all the way back here. It'll take them till about turn 8 if they're still alive to get all the way over to there. Oh, and just they missed the plane again, folks. They're Luftwaffe 88s, guys. Come on, you're letting the side down. The critical turn 6. German turn 6. So first of all, motivations. He got back in, so they were okay for last stand. 2 over here that were bailed out got back in. All the reserves are on. So in terms of movement, the reserves are just trying to move up but fail and follow me's. As you can see, these guys have left them behind to get flank shots down the road. this platoon moved up. This platoon did a blitz, successful blitz using the old hand to help them out. And remember, the 88s are not firing this turn because of anti-air. Last turn, they were going for the juicy, they would have gone for the juicy Stuarts. So in terms of shooting, let's start with the artillery, because they've actually managed to kill somebody in that house. Like, wow. Then over here, the HQ managed, I don't think he hit, I think it was this platoon splitting its fire, managed to get one M10 and nearly got one there, but he rolled a 6 for his safe. And then the other platoon managed to get one up there. So there's one dead M10, one dead Sherman, and a shooting scoop back out of short range. And they missed. Needing 4, the 2 dice, and they managed to miss. And that's it. I'm still moving up, folks. But one turn could wipe this lot out. So over to Laurence to see if he can do that.
So I started my turn. Had motivation to unpin my commandos, which they successfully passed. Got some reserves on, got both of my remaining reserves on over that side, my HQ and the average, so they both came over that side, moved forward slightly. I rolled successfully, got the plane on, that came on, as you see. My other M10 moved up just to get a shot. For shooting, Stuarts destroyed and pinned the remaining chap of that platoon. My HQ came on. Don't think they shot a sausage.
No, only had 2 shots. So
Plane came on again. All looked a bit quite excited, but then
there was 6 tanks under it, and you got 1.
yeah, so quite hard to range in on a 5 up for them.
Though if they do get a hit, they normally hurt barrel a 5 from a save.
So in combination of my shots over here, we've ended up with 2 tanks destroyed.
3, I think.
3.
Yeah.
3 tanks destroyed. So better than last turn, but ultimately still could be better. And to finish off the turn, I did a shoot and scoot just to go down the hill to try and preserve that platoon one more turn.
Turn 7. Sherman turn 7. In terms of motivation, wee guy legged it, a single survivor for that platoon. He didn't get back in but didn't leg it. I think that was it. So in terms of movement, there was a bit of shenanigans going on to try and get the maximum angles of fire from the 88s, but they've moved to get some side, some front shots. He tactical, they dashed, they pretty much stayed put. So in terms of shooting, the 88s managed to bail 1 Achilles. These managed to bail 2 of them with the side shots. The HQ very nearly finished off the Achilles. He killed that one and double bailed that one, but it stayed. These guys here then turned their shots, the 3 that could, onto the HQ. 3 hits, but he rolled 2 6s. Yeah, so one of them's still alive, one of them's dead. And the artillery didn't get any hits again. And that's pretty much it, folks. I'm still around about that objective. 3 tanks within 8 inches. 2 tanks rather, oh no. 2 tanks within 8 inches now because of the casualties I've taken, so they can still get forced back off from that. But I'm starting to cause a few casualties now.
So we did have a dice rolling here for this chap that was remaining of the platoon. He got back in and also didn't leg it, so he was still available. And no planes as yet, and 2 Stuarts also got back into business, so they were good to go. Onto the movement. Literally not much movement apart from the average coming down the road a little bit. And my troops up the hill failed their blitz, but instead I moved them forward to take a shot. Ultimately I needed to kill these 2 tanks, but a lot of jiggery pokery of mistaken targets ended up bouncing them left, right and centre. I ultimately tried to shoot them from the behind with the Stuarts, tried to shoot the HQ with my M10s.
Yeah, I think he bailed the HQ. I saved 3 hits This was a critical one, eh?
Yeah, so I ended up having a shot here with my peer on this last guy to try and win the game. I did hit, but I failed my firepower, so
failed the firepower for a
go
bale.
down to 1 dice, you know, but that's how it goes.
Turn 8. In terms of motivation, he's back in and sticking around. I can't remember, maybe one of them was bailed, but it's back in. There's 3 tanks left there, plus the HQ. The infantry moved up. Odibust went into this building. These moved up to give them cover and fire. And then in terms of shooting, starting with 88s, they managed to get a bale and 2 kills on the Stuarts. He did what he was supposed to do originally and killed an Achilles. These guys fired over here and killed him, but then failed to shoot and scoot. I need to move them up. These guys, I was being brave, maybe foolhardy, but they launched an assault. They were well pinned through fire from all of these half-tracks. And I think one base actually might have got killed by the fire from the half-tracks. But in I went, didn't lose any defensive fire, killed 2, and then lost 1, and then I ran away. They're not reluctant, but you know they still need to roll well to stay in the fight. So they're at the back of the house now. So Laurence has still got a chance to win the game this turn.
So summary for my turn. Stuart ran off, started the game. Plane did come on, and for some movement, I moved my Averys just round the corner. One of them still to contest, but it's just to try and ensure that I had a template in the middle to shoot with my plane. Plane did come on.
And this just stocked it up with paras.
Stuck it full of commandos after passing the pin down, so they successfully passed and shoved them back in. Shooting wise, plane came on and not overly successful. In terms of shooting, both platoons tried to shoot these last 2 tanks remaining. Successfully managed to destroy this one, but the all elusive commander who was gone to ground.
And they too as well. You got 3 tanks that turn.
3 tanks, so we've got 1 tank left, the HQ, that is stalling my progress just now. So we'll see what left for Frank to do next time.
Sherman turn 10 recap. In terms of motivation, the infantry didn't unpin, but they were able to mount up because they could get into the half tracks without moving closer to the enemy. This guy stayed. Everything else is pretty much dead, folks. So in terms of movement, my HQ's moved around to there. These guys all successfully crossed over onto there, asking to get splattered next turn. So a wee bit of shooting. The artillery ranged in again, but got no casualties. Then all these half tracks that could fire, some were anti-aircraft fire, as were they last turn, so only some could shoot, but they managed to get one out of that platoon. So there's still quite a lot. I think there's still 3 in there and 1 or 2 in there. And that was it, folks. So hopefully we can rattle through a few turns and see if Laurence can finish me off.
So motivation, I unfortunately failed because my commandos, their fearless was not true to form. My plane did come on. It was situated here, ready to try and bombard the half tracks. The other movement, I moved my Averys round to try and get some bombardment on the go. As we approach the shooting phase, a lot of shots coming into this particular target area.
Just smashed a bit. 2 dead, 2 bailed.
2 dead, 2 bailed, but not enough. Tried with my Averys to bombard. They did successfully bombard.
They killed 1 actually.
Although I think they've bunker busted, so you don't get a save.
The passenger save is a passenger save.
Yeah, true. Anyway, so plane got completely obliterated over this side, so I now no longer have planes at all. Ultimately, it would have been nice if these had done pinned, and I would have maybe assaulted the bailed troops out, but not to be just now.
So, whatever turn it is for me, folks, right? Do the guys unpin? No. It probably means I'm not going to be able to do anything this turn, which means it's going to drag on and on and on. If I unpinned, I would maybe have tried to get an assault on and maybe just try to make you run away, or try and make them run away, or such like. So, Laurence, how do you feel? Do you want to just call it there?
I think a draw would be the best option, I think, just now, in terms of time. I think what was what I thought was going all my way has resulted in a successful, move to that particular area, and I just can't seem to kill enough.
I'm slaughtered, like.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely slaughtered. I've lost 12 Panzer IVs, 4 Panzer IIIs, several half-tracks, a platoon and a half of infantry.
If we had another 3 hours, I'd probably get there eventually, but
yeah.
I think in terms of a time limit for games, it would be a draw for sure. Yeah. I think there was certainly opportunities within the game that I could have potentially won it with a dice roll, but it's just a dice game. We couldn't change anything about that. So
this mission's such a brutal mission. I don't like it. This is the second time I played it. The first time I played it, I didn't like it from the point of view of the defender, especially because the terrain I had to move into was completely open, so I couldn't even move into concealment to sit on the objective. And secondly, I thought, poor attacker as well, they've got to stick their neck right down the table. And like here in this game, delayed reserves meant I had to just send a platoon of tanks up with a platoon of infantry.
I think it's quite suited for as a kind of defender as a tank army, because you have that mobility to move, and I think the terrain in this particular game really suited me well. There was a speed bump at the very start of your start line, and ultimately as the game started progressing, I was quite happy that I achieved and knocked out pretty much the first platoon that came my way, and I thought perhaps optimistically that when the next platoon arrived I would then do the same, and then when the third platoon arrived I would do the same thereafter.
One mistake for me as the attacker in this game is placing, I put an objective there thinking, it's in the open, it's going to be easier to get to. I should have put it there because I subjected myself to fire from that hill, and with me being aggressive, losing the benefit of concealment was really bad. If I put it over there, I maybe could have rushed up to hide behind this and then work my way through. So that's my learning point from this. Don't attack into the face of a hill, especially if you are aggressive. It's quite an interesting list, like this Panzer Training School, and but I think I could have done things better and I could have used it better in this game. I got smashed to bits as I should because they're easy to hit, but then Laurence's dice just kind of stopped working for a few critical turns. I think that made all the difference. Anyway, folks, that's us done. It's a hot day. Laurence has got a barbecue to go to, and I think I'm going to have to go cut the bloody grass. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Sorry we couldn't get it out to a result, but we believe me, we tried very hard, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks. If you're a subscriber and if you'd like to subscribe, hit the button and then hit the bell button, which means we'll definitely see you all on the next one. Cheers.